If you want to grow your biceps, make sure you train the short head for biceps width and the long head for bigger biceps peak. My training program does exactly that. To target the long head, do close grip barbell curls and incline dumbbell curls. To target the short head, do wide grip barbell curls and barbell preacher curls.
Okay, this has got me a little hot and bothered. We're gonna get into this here. This guy's making a claim that you need to train your biceps in different ways to make sure that you hit the short head with these certain kinds of exercises and techniques, and then also you hit for the width, you get the short head for the width, and then you're going to want to get the long head for the peak by doing these other kind of exercises, get your elbow behind your body to hit that peak. And if you don't understand how to do bicep training, incorporating both of these factors, that you're not going to have complete bicep growth, your biceps won't be as good as they could be, and that you should buy my program so that you can see how to train your bicep properly to get the most growth out of it, okay? This is just a very misleading way of trying to make profit off of something that isn't actually really gonna make any difference for 99.9% of people. If you're trying to be the next Mr. Olympia, okay, maybe there's a point where you can actually do certain exercises to shape the way that your bicep comes in and build that peak up or build that thickness up. But for everybody else, it's not actually going to have any effect. So a certain exercise that's supposed to grow the short head specifically, it maybe is going to influence the short head 55% and the long head 45%, or maybe less, 51 and 49. There's not like, and the reason is, okay, I had to calm down. And I've got really into the anatomy, and I've been this person who's seen that kind of content, because I've seen people say this over and over again, specifically about biceps, but about different muscles as well. And I've absorbed that content. Oh yeah, okay, I need to like do a zillion different moves and angles to train my biceps. Like, I've been obsessed with trying to grow my arms for over 10 years. And I'm super open-minded and willing to try any kind of methodology or technique. If it could lead to gains, I'm on board. Even if it sounds wacky, I'm gonna absorb it, I'm gonna apply it to myself, and I'm gonna assess what results I've gotten. I've been doing that for over a decade now. I feel very confident in telling you that this information of being able to specifically target your short head to grow the thickness or target the long head to grow the peak is complete horseshit. And it's not actually gonna help you. And what you should really focus on is completely different. So it's misleading, and people are, in this case, trying to make profit off of it. And again, it's not deceitful, it's not wrong. There is some value to it, but it's so minuscule and small, and it's presented in a way where it's like, it's implied that this is one of the most important things you need to do if you want to be able to grow your biceps. And the reality is it's not at all fucking important. There are other way more important factors that you should focus on if you actually want to get growth, which is what I will talk about, but I need to center myself a little bit, get fired up talking about peaks, a little sep talk. The reason that it doesn't really make any sense is because the bicep, it's correct, it's made up of two heads, okay? But the structure of the anatomy is very similar. So you have the short head, which is on the inside, and it's gonna come up, and both of them attach on your scapula at a very similar place, but the short head kind of splits off, and the long head goes all the way up your shoulder in through the intertrabecular groove of the humerus, which is just a little groove in your arm bone, and then it kind of curves around and comes and attaches to a similar, and the short head and the long head, they attach to very similar places. And they connect together in the medial bicep to form a single tendon and attach onto the radius. So there's very little structural variation in the bicep. And so what that means is that in reality, every single curl you do is gonna hit both heads quite evenly. So, you know, if you want to hit your short head to grow the thickness of your bicep, you need to do exercises where your elbow's in front of your body. I think that's what the claim is. Maybe the reality is that emphasizes the short head 52% and the long head 48%. Both heads do all three functions that the bicep's going to do. They're going to flex the elbow, they're going to flex the shoulder upward, and they're going to supinate your palm. And every single bicep exercise you do is going to hit both heads significantly. Really what you need to focus on to train your bicep properly, if you want to make gains, is to pick a few different exercises that you like, do them with good controlled form, and focus on using a heavy enough weight that you come close to failure or hit failure in the 6 to 15 rep range roughly, and that you do enough volume to see growth, and you progress that volume over time, or you progress the weight over time. Enough volume, if you're just starting out, might be one workout a week for your biceps for 5 sets. But 6 months down the line, you might need to do 2 workouts a week for 8 sets. And then a year down the line, you need to progress that and try to move the weight. If you're doing the exact same weight that you were doing 6 months ago, something's wrong. You need to up the weight somehow. If you're doing the exact same amount of sets that you were doing a year ago, you need to increase sets. If you're still hitting your biceps once a week and you've been working out for 4 years and you really want them to grow, maybe you need to hit them twice a week, or maybe you need to hit them 3 times a week. You focus on those things, the exact specific angle and technique that you hit the biceps from, it just fades into the rear view because it doesn't actually really matter. Don't even think about it as a short head and a long head. It's one fucking muscle. It's just not fucking relevant, and it's not actually going to help you. So I wanted to make this video to make that disclaimer so that you can actually focus on what you need to do to see those fucking bicep gains. And I don't want to see anybody out there getting robbed of their gains because they're putting all their energy and effort into hitting their bicep from all these different angles, thinking it's going to make it grow when you're not in a good rep range, when you're not using a good intensity, when you're not progressing your training over time. Those are the main things that are actually going to lead to you seeing bicep growth, okay? So I know it was a bit of an intense ramble, but I think I got all the information across, and I hope that helps you to have a more clear view, and don't fucking spend your money on a program when somebody's telling you that you need to tweak your fucking biceps in these different ways. And at the end of the day, I don't mean to like specifically single this guy out. I've seen this claim from many different people, but I was kind of thinking about this and I came across this content. I was like, I gotta make a video. This is the last time I can fucking see this shit. And again, I think it comes from a place of trying to help people, but it's a little bit more of like overcomplicating things and kind of indirectly misleading people and overstating what's actually important. And it's not like purposely deceitful, I don't think. It's just that it's overstated and the person's probably thinking about this will make good content because there's a good visual and there's a specific concept that I can present, that you need to do different kinds of exercises to actually grow your body. Like, it makes sense kind of logically, and there's like, again, some little morsel of truth to it or effectiveness to it, and then it just gets overstated. And I don't think maybe people fully realize it's like, that's not, if that person really stopped and thought like, okay, what do people actually need to do to grow their body? Like, what should I say that's going to actually be really important? It's not that. Okay, that's like something after you've done steps 1 to 98, and then step 99 would be like, oh yeah, by the way, there is like an ability to slightly bias one head over the other, and now that you've been fucking training for 10 years, maybe here's something additional, little sprinkle in that might give you like this tiny little morsel of help, but the foundation of other things is way more important. You get the point. I hope this helps you to keep growing your peaks. Have a great day. Peace.